Hi y'all, welcome back to my channel, BK World TV. Today we will be continuing the build the U.S.S. Enterprise D series by DeAgostini, Japan. This is for Pack 7, stages 23 to 26. So as you can see here, today we will be continuing on the build the U.S.S. Enterprise D series from DeAgostini, Japan. This is for Pack 7, stages 23 through 26. So we have the magazine number 7 here for Pack 7, as well as all the parts for Pack 7, stages 23 through 26. So let's first take a look at the magazine here. So here in the magazine for Pack 7, we'll skip over the build instructions here, so we can look at the take a quick look at the content. So in the first part of the content is for Season 1, Episode 24. We'll always have Paris here. As you can see, we got some of the episode photos as well as the concept arts, and they mention some of the parts for the episode as well as designing it. And then we have episode 25 from season 1 as well. This is for Conspiracy. This is I believe the one with the alien parasite that has infected the top levels of Starfleet. Yeah, I think this was one of the most graphic episodes at the time. Also remember, you can tell Riker is eating the worms there in that episode as well. So yeah, as you can see, they have the sequence on the exploding head there with the parasite then coming out of the body, and you can see the parasite glove, as you could say, or the puppet rather. So yeah, creeped me out at first, at least for this episode. So the next part is the episode 26, which is the neutral zone. So you can see they made a study model for how the Romulan makeup will look like on that as well. And then Mark Alimo, who plays Galter God actually on DS9, also played the Romulan as well. I think he's played also Cardassian on TNG as well. He's played several different characters over the years for Star Trek. And then we move on to Season 2, where they talk about Dr. Pulaski here as well. And then in the first episode of Season 2, to talk about the child, then as well as the container that they used for that episode. I believe it's the containment module. Concept art for that. And then basically that's a quick overview of the content. So now let's get started on the build. So in stage 23, we will be first replacing the battery box cover, where we install the battery box onto the drive section. So we'll go ahead and do that, followed by setting up the looks like a deck panel here, and then installing that to the saucer section. So let's go ahead and get started. So first off, we'll bring our drive section here back, and then we'll be replacing the battery cover. So go ahead and remove the existing cover here. In terms of I guess the top part may be a little bit different, but anyways, we'll get the screw that came with it. That is 23E, just for your information. So we'll be putting the battery cover to the battery box now. As you can see, the lights are working. So we'll go ahead and turn them off for the time being. So now that the battery cover has been replaced, we'll go ahead and start the deck paneling here. So we'll be installing 3 windows, looks like, and some of the escape pod hatches. So let's go ahead and do that, and then we'll be right back. So as you can see, we now got the windows and the escape pod hatches installed. So we'll be now installing that panel over onto the saucer section. So let's go ahead and zoom out. Set this panel aside. Then we'll bring in the saucer section here. So basically, this panel will be fitted right over in this section right here. Let's move this up a little bit. So it'll be fitting in right here. So it'll be first securing using one BM screw, and then just securing one the middle part of the panel here to secure that in place first. So let's go ahead and do that. And then next, what we'll be doing is we'll be connecting these 2 lights, which are the red and black cable lights that we didn't connect in stage 22. And then we'll be connecting those into these 2 parts here. So we zoom in for you guys. These lights will connect right into these 2 slots there. So let's go ahead and put those lights on. So once those lights are in, we will be securing the rest of the panels with BM screws that goes attached to the skull frame, and then 4 EM screws, which attaches the 2 panels together. So let's go ahead and finish that. So now that we got all the panels, all the screws attached to the panel to secure it in place, we'll go ahead and flip it over. So as you can see, we installed this panel right here, and then attached the lights, I believe, for the top portion of this lower panel here. So next, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and test the light to make sure that it works. So we have these 2 wires here from it's 22K. And then we're going to connect that over to slots A and B. Right here on the board, test board here. And then also, I believe 04J right here, which connects to slot C. So if we dim the lights up a bit, you can see the panel is lighting up right here. So if we turn back the light, so that is basically it for stage 23. So in stage 24, we will be installing another portion of the skull frame over to the drive section, or at least one side of it, onto the drive section, and then looks like we'll be assembling another piece of the panel, deck panel here, and then attaching that to the saucer section. So let's go ahead and get started. So first off, we'll be bringing in the drive section here, and then what we'll be doing is we'll be installing this portion of the skull frame. So basically the skull frame is going to attach right into this part here, and then I believe one screw is going to attach over to the top part there. So it's going to go in just like that, and then we're going to secure that in place with 3 BM screws on the bottom, and then 1 FM screw that's going to attach right over to the top there. If we zoom in, maybe you could see better. Just like that. So the FM screw goes here, and then 3 BM screws attached to the base on the bottom there. So let's go ahead and screw that in. So just like that, we now have the skull frame for the another piece of the drive section installed right there. So we'll go ahead and set this one aside. And then next we'll be bringing in the deck panel that's included in this stage. And then we'll be installing the escape pods and the windows. So we'll go ahead and install them and be right back. Okay, so as you can see, we got all the windows and escape pod hatches installed. So now what we'll be doing is we'll be installing the reflector. So we'll be starting with the left reflector, which is this piece right here with one opening for the light. Then we'll be taking the wiring for the light and then attaching the black and yellow wired light onto that reflector and then putting that onto the deck panel. So let's go ahead and do that. So put the we'll secure the light onto the reflector there, and then seat the reflector down onto the deck panel. So just like that. And then we'll be securing that in place with 4 EM screws. So let's go ahead and screw them in. So now that we got the left side of the reflector installed, we'll be installing the right side of the reflector, which is this piece right here. And then we'll be taking the red and blue wire for the light, and that'll be installed on the left side here. And then we'll be taking this single piece of lighting cable, which is gray and red, and that goes on the right side. And then we'll be attaching that onto the reflector and the reflector onto the deck panel again with 4 EM screws. So let's go ahead and do that. So now that we got the reflectors and the lights installed, we'll go ahead and test the lighting. So we'll be connecting the wires to slots C and E. So as you can see, the lights is working. So next, what we're gonna do is we're gonna carefully bend the wire for the yellow and black, and then it's gonna fit right through the gap here, so we can attach this panel over to the saucer section. This is gonna go just like that. Then now we're gonna get our saucer section back here. So let's go ahead and bring it back. So as you can see, we got our saucer section back here. I'll zoom out just a little bit. So basically, we'll be installing this deck panel right in this spot right here. And then we'll be securing that in place with 2 BM screws. So now that we got this panel here installed, so if you flip it over, you can check it out how it looks like. So we installed this panel right here. So that is basically it for stage 24. So in stage 25, we will be assembling another part of the deck panel and installing the windows and the escape pod hatches. Then once we assemble the panel, I'll be adding that to the saucer section. And then I believe we'll also be installing the skull frame, or part of the skull frame for the drive section. So let's go ahead and get started. So first off, as you can see, we got the deck panel here, and we'll be installing the escape pod hatches here, as well as the clear and blackened windows here. So let's go ahead and get those on, and then we'll be right back. Alright, so as you can see, we now got the windows and the escape pod hatches installed. So next what we'll be doing is we'll be installing the reflector, as well as the lighting cable here. So we'll go ahead and zoom it out just a little bit, and then we will be securing the reflector to the deck panel with 3 BP screws. But first we'll go ahead and separate the wires here a little bit. So basically the yellow and white is going to go on, wire is going to go on the left side, and the red and black is going to go on the right side. So let's go ahead and get those wire lighting attached to the reflector there. And we will seat that reflector down onto the deck panel. We're just going to secure in just like that, and then we'll get the BP screws and then screw them in. So as you can see, we now got the reflector and the lighting cable installed. So we can see the deck panel there. It's now completed. So we'll be installing that onto the saucer section. So if we bring over the saucer section right here, basically this deck panel will be attaching right in this part right here. So let's go ahead and get that panel installed. So I'll be feeding the wire through right into this gap in the skeletal frame. So as you can see, we got the wire through there. So now we're going to flip this over, and it's going to attach right into that portion there. So as you can see, we now got this part of the deck panel uninstalled. So now what we'll be doing next is we will be testing the lighting for that panel. So we'll go ahead and get our handy battery pack and the test board here. And then we'll be connecting the battery pack onto the E slot. Then connecting the lighting cable onto the D slot there. So if we turn off our overhead lighting, so we turn off our overhead lighting, as you can see, the panel is lit up. So we turn the light back on. We'll go ahead and disconnect the test board now. So we're all done with the deck panel and the saucer section in this stage. So now we'll move on to the drive section. So now in the drive section, we'll be installing this skeletal frame for the drive section here. So in order to do this, all the wiring will go onto the bottom except for this piece of lighting cable here. We'll bring this over to the center. So basically this lighting cable will install onto this piece of the metal right there. So you just have to make sure we feed that through. So basically it's going to sit it's going to sit right on there, and then we're going to put the other side of the skull frame, so the lighting is going to be sitting right in between. Then we just have to make sure all the wiring is going to go through the bottom as well. So basically before we screw it in, so one lighting cable is going to be right into that space there for the light, right in between the two skeletal frame, and then the rest of the wiring is going to go out through the bottom, and then we'll be securing the bottom part of the skeletal frame into place with 3 BM screws. So let's go ahead and screw that portion in. Then next we'll be installing one FM screw onto the top there. So let's go ahead and screw that one in. And then lastly, we'll be taking one AM screw and then putting that screw into the front part of it. So if we turn this around, the screw is going to go right into the screw hole right there. A little bit hard to see, but there's a screw hole there, so we're going to go ahead and screw that in. And once that is in place, that is basically it for stage 25. So as you can see, we now got the drive section is starting to take shape. So now we'll move on to stage 26. In stage 26, we'll be assembling another piece of the deck panel again, and then attaching that to the saucer section. So let's go ahead and get started. So first off, as you can see, we got the deck panel here with all the windows only. So we'll go ahead and install all the windows and then be right back. So as you can see, we now got all the windows installed. So next we'll be installing the lighting and the reflector. So for the lighting, we'll be installing one side of the lighting first, which will be the red and black cable. So basically, it's gonna attach to the right, to the left side if we flip this over, and then we'll be securing that to the deck panel with 3 BP screws. So let's go ahead and screw those in. So now that the reflector is installed, we'll go ahead and install this panel over to the saucer section. So let's bring our saucer section back here. So for this part of the deck panel, it'll be installed right into this part right here. So basically we'll feed this wire through, and then the yellow and white wire is gonna come in from the other side of the frame there. So now we'll go ahead and flip it over and then get it installed. And then we'll be installing the deck panel onto the frame with 2 DP screws. So let's go ahead and screw them in. So as you can see, we now have the this deck panel installed. So we'll now go ahead and test the lighting for that deck panel. So we'll get our test board again, and we'll be connecting the cable to slot C on the test board. Feed them the lights again. It is lighting up, as you can see. So bring the lights back on. And that is basically it for stage 26 and for pack number 7. So in pack number 7, we basically installed 4 deck panels. Right here, these 4 here, I believe. And then also installed, replaced the battery cover, and then installed the skeletal frame onto the drive section. So far, it is looking pretty good. I can't wait to see how the rest of the build goes like. But anyways, hope you enjoyed this video and this series on the build the U.S.S. Enterprise D. As always, please don't forget to like and subscribe. We'll be continuing on this build, as well as the build on the Agora Models DB5 from the 007 series as well. So don't forget to check that out if you want to. But anyways, hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you next time. Thanks. Bye.